You guys are. I'm Mr. Potato Man. I sprained my wrist pouring milk a few weeks back. you laughing? I just woke up, normal day, gonna go pour the milk, and I hear a little pop, and then the pain starts, and it's like, well, a couple weeks of braces. Or you talk about climbing things. I actually strained the shoulders because some woman was getting attacked outside my house. I heard these people screaming and fighting, and we're in Texas, so we have those giant 9-foot stupid fences or whatever, and I had no idea what was going on. So I was worried and should not have, but used my hands to pull myself up and jump over the fence and look. And it was like some guy was chasing, I assume, his girlfriend, taking swings at her, saying, "I'm going to get you, bitch," and chasing her down the street. So I popped back down and called the police, and they said they didn't ever find anything. But this woman was fast. Dude was big, like 6'3", 6'4", and she was way smaller, but he's one of those big guys that can't move. So she booked it, and she was like way ahead of him going somewhere. But the point is that, like, just pulling myself up over the fence, I was like, well, that sets me back about 2 weeks on physical therapy right there. I got fucked on that one.
I have a question about the T. Like, you came on this like 2 shows ago. You said your T was low and you were trying Clomid, I think. And then in a more recent show, I forget the update. But where are we now? Did you figure it out?
So we could not find what was causing the low T. We'd done a shit ton of endocrinological testing with pituitary endocrinologist, and we found exactly nothing about anything abnormal about my body, with one exception. And we did the genetic testing as well. And that's that I had a very small tumor on my pituitary gland. Mm-hmm. And I got it scanned a year later, and the tumor was gone. The doctor told me it was so small, there's a chance maybe it was an imaging error. Perhaps it was a small cyst that popped. And these kind of things do sometimes go into spontaneous remission. It could have been bigger before and was on its way down when we found it. Cool. So there's that. So I have, now that the tumor is gone, nothing wrong with me at all, but my testosterone is like double digits. So I still take the clomiphene. I did a ridiculous amount of testing, and clomiphene takes all of my hormones back up to normal. Everything, the estrogen levels, the testosterone levels, all the other, like the prolactin and everything, is all perfectly in range for the last 6 months to a year. And I still got problems. So that's what's going on there. So I have almost no T for really almost no reason. And I know that like people, they're like, oh, you lazy beta male gamer soy.
For a second, you've said both that your levels are normal and you have almost no T, and I'm confused.
That's if I'm not taking meds.
Oh, okay.
So when I'm on the clomiphene, it's perfectly normal. Everything, we'd get like this huge lab work every time of like a giant list of things, and it was all normal. Now, if I don't take that, it all goes crazy. Mostly the testosterone, but that throws other things out of balance too. But the doctor told me that he's the pituitary endocrinologist, and he said there's no reason this should be happening to me, and that given a lack of anything else and good labs on clomiphene, it's smarter to leave me on that than risk changing anything. So that's where I'm at on that. We're fighting other battles. We're looking at like rheumatologists and autoimmune and nonsense, but we'll get away from that. That's a boring topic.
Before we go to healers and oils and crystals,
some sort of witch.
My question is, why did you stop at normal? If you have
I'm not
low
100%
T,
sure that a witch isn't the source of all this.
You need to switch to high T and throw some Tren in the mix and Androlone and other stuff. You just stop fucking around with normal.
Look,
crazy with your.
See, this is just like in the movies. All right, this is just like in the movies.
Stack.
He has almost exhausted. He has almost exhausted medical science, right? He just listed all of these specialists, all the testing they've done. This is just like in The Exorcist, right? When they run the little girl through all the tests, and you're thinking like, Jesus, it might be the devil. Why is no one said
there's not much left
yet? And by the time they go through the fourth like hospital trip, you as the viewer are like, come on, guys, why is no one considering the devil? I don't believe in the devil, but at this point, it's clearly the devil. And here we are with Driftor. It's been years of like specialists and medical facilities, and
the guy literally sees demons.
No one, the man literally sees demons.
Hey, you'll like this then.
Who tells us he sees demons and is plagued by inexplicable medical issues. And no one out there is thinking right now, it might be the devil. It might be a witch, a warlock, a wizard of some kind.
You're joking, but I've wondered.
5 to 10% chance.
I've legit wondered because I'm exhausting science here and not getting answers. And I don't believe that I've lost my mind. Actually, if I've lost my mind, that's the best thing ever. It's the easiest thing to fix. But you'll like this one. You talk about the devil. I had to go get an MRI a while back. And I went to 2 facilities and tried 3 different machines. And the machines failed 3 times in a row. I didn't get scanned until my 4th MRI. And all 3 times the nurses apologized and were like, we're sorry. This basically never happens. We don't know what went wrong. And that was only one time that happened, but it was just one scan that 3 MRI machines failed on me in a row. It took like a month to get it done because I was always getting rescheduled.
That sucks.
So who knows? Maybe it's demons. I've always...
So I'm guessing that those MRI technicians are part of the plot. And so what happened was they hadn't been alerted that you were going to be scanned that day. So they don't have the fake scans that they're going to present to you. They, of course, don't want you to see what's really inside of your body, what they've been growing in there for your entire life, that you are the chosen one. And this they have this elder god that they're going to try to bring back through you.
It makes sense, honestly, given all the problems and weird stuff. I would buy it.
It makes sense.
That's why your T is low. It is absorbing all of your testosterone.
It's going to come out this super hyper alpha male. It's a whole lifetime of T. It's going to bust out and be like the Giga Chad, like aliens, except a Giga Chad is just going to burst out of my chest.
It'll just be Derek. It'll just look like Derek.
Yeah.
It is what
they really will be Death Star delts. Just explode out.
But it blows up out of you like it's slowly wearing you like a suit, and then you tear like the Hulk's clothes. Yeah. That would be the cool way.
But he's not naked when he comes out. He's already wearing Under Armour. It's
like what's happening, and it looks like your arms are getting huge, but then the skin starts tearing, and then you see horns, or I imagine horns, like demons have horns. Drifter, how are you? You're clearly not well.
We're doing another bedcast. It's not looking good. It's been a wild ride. So I've got good news. I finally found out what's wrong with me. I was actually not crazy. I cannot believe that. Shockingly,
that's good.
I have a pretty severe lifelong vitamin B1 deficiency, better known as thiamine. And you need that vitamin to regulate most of your organs, your nervous system, your heart, your brain, muscle growth, bone density, a lot of the not so essential things in your body.
Sure.
And probably had it my whole life. Most of the weird problems I've had, including the hallucinations that you guys find so amusing, were almost certainly driven by vitamin B1.
Yeah. 2 things. 1, that's definitely amusing. We stand by that. 2, how many times now have you finally gotten to the bottom of this problem? Is this root cause number 4, 7?
I think it would be the 3rd, but I think it's the really real one because this destroys testosterone and other things and it causes your nervous system to essentially disintegrate because the myelin sheaths that protect the nerves do disintegrate. They don't repair. Demyelinization causes people to lose their memory. It causes people to slur words. Balance problems has a tendency to cause heart and upset stomach.
Blood flow. About alcohol.
That's what causes wet brain. Did you know that? Yeah. People who are like chronic alcoholics, they get wet brain like late in life. Shout out Lady Di from the O&A show. She got wet brain. Are you
supposed to have dry brain?
Yes, because wet brain, it means that you have a severe thiamine deficiency and you lose your mind. Like you no longer are with reality. You're in fantasy world. And that's apparently caused by a thiamine deficiency. So it seems like, how the fuck did they not catch this? Or did you not happen upon like a pair?
The short version is this is something that really is almost never checked for, at least in the Western world. It's considered eliminated since most of our food is fortified with high thiamine mononitrate. So in theory, if you eat 1 Pop-Tart a week, you should have enough. I have discovered that I am so lucky to have a genetic disorder that causes my body to not absorb very much. So lucky, in fact, it's a new gene that hasn't been researched yet, so it didn't show on the initial test.
Do you get to name it?
And I think the doctor does. I know this because I reached out to my family.
Like Drifter with a 0.
Yeah.
No, I would keep it with an E. It's easier to spell. But I got my family members to also take vitamin supplements, and a variety of issues that they had, from cold sensitivity to anxiety to issues with psychosis and things like that, went away very quickly. So
yes. You're muted, bud.
So genetic.
How much history of psychosis are we talking here in the family? And are we talking about like an uncle who liked to talk about gremlins in his fighter plane back in Nam? Or are we talking about like pants on your head, got a kitchen knife, and we're heading out?
My grandfather has a body count of about 15 people because he got violent when he got drunk, and he would have
So,
breaks
the
from
second
reality.
Body
Yeah.
count doesn't mean that anymore.
Well, you're right.
You fucked a lot of
people.
guys.
I try not to
made
talk
him
too much
gay?
trash. My mother would go psychotic when she would drink. I saw her break a plate and try to cut her face off with the edges to let the demons out, or God knows what. So that's been in
Jesus.
the family for a long time. I'm not going to talk about my other relatives because I doubt they want to be on this show, but similar issues
Equally
when mixed
serious
with
issue.
alcohol. And the only reason it didn't get me is because I grew up around alcoholics and swore that off. I'm on the cannabis only train. If I had drank, oh my God, it'd have been terrible.
So for your family, it's like doubling up with the alcohol because
Oh,
they
yeah.
already have a thiamine problem, and then that's no
Yep.
good.
You might
And
want to go straight edge, my friend. I don't know about it.
I'm very straight
check
edge.
those Tylenol
Yeah.
twice. Like, oh man, so your life sounds so scary to me. Like in
It's
my
tough,
normal
man. I'm
life,
sorry.
I don't deal with any sort of ghouls or goblins or anything like that. And it seems like that's a daily concern for you. You're like, fingers crossed, there's no ghouls or goblins today.
I don't particularly worry about those anymore. I used to.
Okay.
Just on a daily basis. I was seeing things. It's weird.
Yeah.
Right now, I just worry about managing the health stuff. The good news is I'm supposed to make a full recovery. The bad news is it's supposed to take a couple of years because it's been going for so long. Every system in my body is dysregulated. That's why the testosterone was so low for no reason, and all these other things, and all the labs are all out of whack. And I got lucky. I got in touch with one of the very few doctors on the planet that even has published research on this, Dr. Chandler Mars. She runs hormonesmatter.com, and she's been helping me. And
Her name
she
is
basically
Chandler?
said this Chandler Mars, yes.
So what's this? Oh, I'm sorry. Kyle,
We're gonna
you
gloss right over the lady's name's Chandler. I mean, that's more interested than any of this. Okay.
The solution, is it just a vitamin?
For the most part, yeah. Take vitamin B1. It's very cheap. It's over the counter. It made me feel better within 12 hours. I felt radically better within a week.
Why are you gonna call it
Unfortunately,
that, man?
after a month, I kind of plateaued. I talked to this new doctor, and she said average recovery time is a couple of years because your body's kind of in starvation mode. So I got a lot of
Rough,
fun
man.
stuff to work through, but the long term's looking pretty good.
That's good. I'm glad it seems like you have a prognosis or whatever to go off of. Does it piss you off at all that like after all of this, it's like it seems like a vitamin deficiency that could have been like handled on Amazon. Like you have to be kind of like, are you fucking kidding me? Like
So you
all
don't
these
take
tests and you didn't
you
have
take a
me like piss in a
multivitamin?
cup?
I
Do you
did
take
take a
any-
multivitamin, but it didn't have thiamine in there. Since it's already in our bread, the majority of multivitamins don't include it because it's considered unnecessary.
Which vitamin?
Oh shit! It was just like some chewable gummies I got from
Okay,
Target.
yeah, you didn't get. Okay, see, that's the problem.
Get Thorn.
Anybody out there that look, I take multivitamins every day. I think it's one of the like 5 things you should take. Like if you had to pick 5, it'd be in them. And I take those expensive ass Thorn multivitamins. And I promise you take 4 pills a day or something. You take them in the morning. There's a morning blend and an evening blend.
Well,
And,
Kyle's on the rich guy Thorn stack. I'm on the basic nutrition stack.
Well, I'm sure that there's thiamine in it. Like you said, there's thiamine in Pop-Tarts. Like I had does your diet, everybody eats differently. I know some people just never touch like vegetables or fruits ever. Like was that a thing? Like,
No,
I know you
I
say
eat
get some
very
vitamin-
healthy. No caffeine, no alcohol, no tea, not a lot. I do eat sweets, but not a tremendous amount, Try to eat organic, local, healthy vegetables, blah, blah, blah.
Jesus.
I'm in Texas. It's not going to be perfect here, but it's pretty damn good.
Well, thiamin's mostly in,
I wasn't even
meat.
looking. I'm just thinking like you've developed this crazy thiamine deficiency where it's seemingly.
But it's been my
ruined your
whole life.
It's like how did you avoid thiamine so much? And the answer is clearly that you didn't. That you've got this genetic disorder that makes you need a lot of thiamine.
I need a lot, and I got lucky. My life was a perfect series of events. Every medication that I've ever taken for a long time, a lot of the procedures that I've had done, all of those have known side effects of draining thiamine. I've taken sertraline. I've been on diuretics when I was a teenager. I used to have to get bi-monthly spinal taps and things like that.
Jesus.
So all of those things drain thiamine. And there's only 2 labs in the entire world that'll give you a transketolase test, which is the most accurate one. So doctors almost never test for it. And I only found this because I went to a psychiatrist because I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm crazy. Put me in a padded room and lock me up. This makes no sense. The psychiatrist said, look, man, you can be as crazy as you want and not get labs like this. You may have a mental problem, but there may be something else. He sent me to a neurologist, and the neurologist is like, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. I just know that it's going to be weird and it's going to be beyond my expertise. I'm going to refer you to like the research hospital, which was UT Southwestern, and it'll take 4 months, but you know what? I'm going to sign you up for like 15 shotgun random tests to do a little work before you get there. One of them, B1, the transketolase. And so I'm just fighting my way through that. It's going to be a fun year-long slog, but
at least you're on the right path.
How often have you thought about killing yourself? Because I got to tell you, if I had all these problems, especially with the mental stuff going on, you know, something you can't wrap your hands around or cut out. Because like if you got cancer, like if I had like, I don't know if there's an example of a cancer that men can get. Like when women get breast cancer, they can make that nuclear option and be like, you know what? Take them fucking both. Well, ma'am, the right one's still good. No, fuck this shit. Like, and I have a lot of respect when they do that. I don't know if there's a nuclear option for men like that, but that's what I'd be looking for. I'd be looking for the bad part of me to cut out at some point, you know? Like, I don't know if you've ever gotten a thorn in your foot or something, and you're like, I don't care how much this hurts or how gross it is to dig around in my foot. You're coming out. There's something like in us that wants us to get that shit out of us that doesn't belong. And so, like, man, I could see thinking killing myself, like some of the stuff you've been through.
You are goddamn determined to start us off grim today, but the honest truth, because I try not to lie.
You're in a coffin. I'm not in a coffin. Oh, Dracula, am I bringing the mood down?
This is a very expensive bed, anyway.
I bet it is. It comes with that oak lid. You got the inlay and the silver handles on the side.
Yeah, it's kind of the whole
anyway.
Grieving mom.
It's a floating bed that glows. It's a cyber bed. It looks really cool. Anyway, yes, I thought about killing myself. I'm not a lot, but the thought of, not seriously, I didn't sit here and be like, yeah, I'm going to do it today. None of that. But every now and then when I was trying to go to sleep and in a lot of pain, I imagined how pain-free it would be to be dead, and imagining being dead helped me go to sleep. So
I'm really sorry, man. That's horrible.
It's horrible,
but
terrible.
You have to deal with this, and I'm genuinely happy for you that it seems like you're optimistic on the path you're on now. Hopefully,
trying to be
what solves it. You're doing a good job. So that's rough, man.
What you got, you know?
Yeah,
like, it must feel really good to have your hands around. Like I said, like at least have a really good idea of like what the thing is. Like, and it's easily solved too. They're not like, oh, we found it. It's your butthole. We have to remove your butthole.
We have to core out your butthole. Like we're making
Do I just get an even better butthole? Like you can't remove a hole. You can only make holes bigger.
You could get the colonoscopy bag, the one on your side.
I don't see why you'd have to do that.
No, nowadays you can just request like a corpse anus.
Is that true? I believe
I got a real 2 a week. 2 a week.
Yeah. I want a zombie anus.
I think that'd be disgusting. Just a greenish anus that's slowly rotting.
What's the difference between a zombie anus and a regular cadaver anus? That it's been affected with that virus?
Well, yeah, one of them would be animated. I'm kind of imagining a Pornhub original Anus of the Dead.
Yeah, Anus of the Dead. It's a prehensile like lips.
How does so I know that our intestines like force poo out of us or whatever, and I think maybe there's even some little fingers in there.
That's my understanding.
Is that how they do it? Like I'm asking. I know our intestines.
I think it contracts and squeezes like a tube. If I'm not mistaken,
contraction requires musculature. Is intestine muscle?
A little bit. They do move. Do things, right? I'm not a doctor.
I think it's
the fingers. Those are the villi. Those are what absorb things.
No, I have a genuine like I just thought of this.
It's called peristalsis, right? Yeah, it is muscular. The involuntary constriction and relaxation of the muscles in the intestine, creating wave-like movements that push the contents of the canal forward. Peristalsis.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that because I know that people eat intestine in a number of different ways, like mostly pig intestines.
Yeah, chitlins. Yum yum.
Chitlins, and then the casings on like all the best hot dogs. Like if you've ever eaten a hot dog that had a crunch, like that was intestine that you just bit right into. That was the casing.
And that's a good use. That does make it better.
And condoms. Let's never forget that they make
pigskin condoms.
Sheepskin.
Sheepskin.
Yeah. They don't stretch and therefore are not accommodating for all users.
They are It is
in 1942.
shocking.
That's all you had.
Like, do you ever
I mean-
see that next to the other condoms, like just walking by at the
I
store,
bought
and you
them.
think like,
What?
who's using sheep's intestine? Why?
I wanted to see, like, is this a superior condom? Is the
There's no
gross
way.
factor all that's keeping me away from a superior condom experience? I had that thought, and I got it. And literally, there's no stretchiness to it, really.
Yeah,
like,
it's an
at the
intestine.
base of a condom, like,
There's less stretchiness to it. I've also tried
like,
them.
you grab the base of the condom and you pop it over and then roll it down. I'm not gonna give a whole. Let me get my pants.
We've
on.
all worn condoms.
Not all of us.
Very important.
Not all of
guys.
us.
Mm.
Not
Point of
all men have
clarification.
penises, Taylor.
You said you
Well,
tried this. Did you try this? Just get hard and slip it on, or is it like, hey baby, I've got this new condom. It's gonna
Oh,
rock
no.
your world.
No, this was
No, I was
dress
doing a
rehearsal.
test run. This was dress
Okay.
rehearsal. Yeah. You never want to break something out for the first time with an audience, right? You test your material first to the mirror.
Good. No,
And,
totally
then you do
agree.
like a small group, and then you work your way up to stadium.
I start with a
eventually.
focus
You get
group,
that Kevin
yeah.
Hart mode.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's what you do. And then you realize
Anyway.
early it's gross.
Anyway, like without making a my dick's so big thing, like they're not accommodating for like the average penis, I would say. Like they're really small at the base. Like I don't know who they're made for. Maybe like Asian men
Scotsman.
prefer those. I don't know. I found it to be far too small for not just me, but like any normal man. Trying to fix that.
So not good for the girthier listeners here.
Correct.
And not good for people
Correct.
who like are not allergic to latex. Like there's a better solution than
Oh,
animal
no.
intestine.
We were talking about this
Yeah,
a while back.
I
I've
have
never
heard
been
about that.
baptized, which apparently
They're
is a
ultra
real rare
orthodox.
thing. I'm sure Harley hasn't either. But for us Gentiles, it's I don't know anyone else who wasn't baptized. I need to ask my parents what the fuck
I'm
happened.
baptized. Man, they've dropped the ball.
Or maybe they made some sort of deal.
Didn't
Ah.
get baptized until I was like 19, but I still got baptized.
You still knocked it out. You're covered probably.
Yeah, but I went through that whole childhood of Southern Baptist hell and damnation and brimstone. Nope.
Don't you see demons?
That shit sucks.
Yes, sometimes.
You see real demons. So I'm not going to use you as a case study
No.
for baptism, and it's been.
I love the
its
frown, the
effectiveness.
over like the frown response you get because of the fucking giant frown
scary.
lips.
How do the demons
Wait,
make
do
you
you
feel?
see demons? You see demons?
It's a very long story, but the short version is much more prevalent in childhood than in adulthood. I suffered from hallucinations, not the schizophrenic kind where you really, well, I mean, as a kid, I thought they were like real, you know?
Hmm.
As an adult, I might see things like a shadow person walk by super quick or something like that. And I know it's not real and I know it's my mind playing tricks on me, but as a child, they were much more intense. And I saw a whole bunch of crazy ghosts and demons and things that talked to me and all sorts of crazy shit. I think it was a combination of a very unpleasant medical condition I have and a very
You
toxic
spoke about
home
this on the
environment.
show, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I
Yeah,
told
this
the
is
story
ringing
and
a
stuff
bell
like
to me.
that. So I, in the past, have seen things like demons and ghosts and supernatural events, and I also have very, very bizarre dreams where a very unpleasant thing often talks to me and kind of controls the scenario.
Is that still happening now, or pretty few and far between?
It was pretty much dead for a long time. I had a brief resurgence about 3 or 4 months ago. Very unpleasant dream. It was. Are we going to do that? Are we going to go into paranormal? If we're going to do that, I'll take the clown nose off. It's kind of itchy.
Yeah, you can take the clown
I think you
nose
take
if
it off
want.
anyways.
Now I look a little bit
that's
more
so
like
much worse.
Clown.
Now
Oh,
you
it's
look
so
like
worse
a French Quebec
Okay, I'll put it
daytime
back on.
ballet. Anyone where I'm from knows what I'm talking about. By the way,
Yeah.
Yeah, continue.
The Quebecois people.
But it's like, imagine you've played something like Left 4 Dead, where there's like an AI, the director that directs your game. Imagine when you go to sleep and you have a dream, it's lucid, so you're you and you're awake, and you might even know that you're dreaming, but you're not in control of it. And there is perhaps another malevolent director there putting you through some sort of godforsaken scenario. And if you break out of the scenario, you're probably going to a meeting room where you have to have a very unpleasant meeting of some kind.
Ugh,
Yeah, it's not fun. I don't sleep that well.
I don't blame you.
I can't
That would suck.
fix it. If I get some of my problems fixed, it may go away on its own, which would be great. I
Yeah.
am Tuesday going to see the only specialist in the state that will talk to me, and then I might have, embarrassingly, yet another final answer for this stupid
Peter
problem.
Venkman, right?
No, it's a
No.
infectious disease specialist. I may have a protozoan infection, which is not good. You don't
does-
want that. It's a
does
little.
that
It's
mean?
it's like a little kind of like a bacteria, but a little nastier, and they live in your red blood cells.
How do you get rid of those?
I'm not entirely sure, and it doesn't seem like it always goes away. So that's why
Unfortunately,
I'm
you have
going to a real doctor to get an answer.
And if that
Hope you get good news.
another option would be to dream train to grow stronger every day. So when you do encounter the shadow man in the dream, you are far more powerful than he ever expected you to be.
I got a trick.
That's
for
Sell a
that.
supplement for that.
We do.
Yes.
Makes you come.
We
more,
really
too.
do. Yeah,
I do have a
but
trick for
on
that, for
Derek's
real.
site, there's a dream supplement. Makes you
Really,
strong
I didn't
in
know
dreams.
that.
Yeah.
The
Really
trick
dream
I
dreams.
learned is that if your heart rate gets over a certain amount, you almost always wake up. Like your body just has like a fail-safe mechanism if that happens.
Mhm.
So if something's getting really fucked, I stop in the dream and concentrate and try to just hyperventilate, get my heart rate up super high, and just imagine it. And usually I'll just poof right out after.
Oh,
like
I
a
got the
minute or
answer
two.
for you.
Damn.
So
Okay.
do you have a smartwatch?
Been tracking
You
it.
can, you can set that thing to wake you up if it gets above a certain point. Because I know my butt. Someone I know went to sleep after doing a bunch of cocaine and Adderall, and their Apple Watch woke them up because they thought they were dying because they probably were. Their heart rate was like 170 in their sleep or some shit.
In their sleep.
So
Dude, that's
bizarrely
like-
about this,
that's like panic attack level of blood
Yeah.
pressure.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
don't
you
do
guys
that.
about crazy dreams and shit like that, right? According to this, I dream only about 15 minutes a night, which is way less than what you need. And
Yeah.
a lot goes on in those 15 minutes, I'll tell you. Either that
Freddy
or it's
Krueger
just
shit.
not reading right.
Oh, there's
Uh,
full on time dilation in our dreams, which is interesting,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
Absolutely.
Big
how
time.
does
Big time.
that's a bizarre part about dreams that I would love to hear a doctor and a scientist talk about, like how that works. How does time dilation in dreams? Because
And a man of God.
feels
Let's
like
cover
You
all the
wake up
bases.
sometimes exhausted. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know how that shit ended. It went
Yeah.
on. I was like
I've been able
camping
to-
for weeks.
I've left a dream scenario, like it had been a long dream, maybe running from bad guys through the woods or something, and then wake up and be like, all right, I'm awake, and then be, oh shit, I got to get back in there, and went back to sleep and got back in. I've done that before.
That's
how does that
awesome
fucking
when
work?
you do
too.
that.
How does that work?
I
I don't
think
know
it
how
works
that
because you want to go back. Your mind is already in the
Or is it
mindset.
because that place is real? Because our minds have made it real.
But doesn't
and
it
exists
feel
for a little-
very real sometimes?
I think that our dreams might be more than just our brains putting on a show for us. Like maybe we're creating some kind of little pocket universe that we're going off and playing around in.
Maybe. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that kind of is what it is. It's
Don't get your
when
hopes up, though. You're
mind's
not going
eye.
Ah,
anywhere
it's
when
the
you die.
simulation, and you come
No.
out, and you're like, "It's my dream
This has
world."
nothing to do with that. Still,
I,
just
I like a huge amount of the time when I have a bad dream, like I don't remember anything about it other than like I'll wake up like more anxious than normal and just be like, I must have had some kind of weird
I've
dream.
had that.
Like, but I can't nail down like what was it about? It must have been kind of upsetting, but I have no
Bad, like a night
clue.
terror, like where you jump up yelling and stuff.
No, I've never had that. Like I've never like I
I
don't
keep saying
really,
things, and I'm only
I don't
picturing
wake
you in the
up.
clown makeup doing it, like
Yeah, I don't wake up
sleeping
out of
and jumping
nightmare.
up, screaming, full clown costume.
You do
Just
know how I
waking
look like
up in
normally,
terror.
right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Not clownish. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a nightmare. Or no, I when I was a kid, I woke myself up with nightmares occasionally. I remember I woke up during a very brief nightmare where I was like, my mom was calling me to like run through the garage to get to her car so she could drive us to school. And I was closing the garage on my way out, and I tripped, and the garage door crushed my head, and I died. And I remember waking up from that like, oh my God, I never thought of that as a way to die. is having your head crushed at the age of 7, and then thinking like, oh my God, and my mom and my brother would still be out in the car looking at like my head all over the drive. Oh, that was a terrible dream for a 7-year-old.
boy.
My dream
Yeah,
when I
that's
was
a good
7
one.
is I would be at school, and I'd be like, "I'm here naked. Why did I come all the way here naked? What a fuck up!"
What a fuck up.
Literally, like, that'd be
Damn.
my dream. I'd be like, I forgot everything, even my clothes. This is crazy. Why would this happen? And it's just my dream is me standing there stressing, being like, how am
Yeah.
I going to spin this?
I remember like
7.
probably 4 years ago, which maybe not even that long, 2 or 3 years ago, I had like the first nightmare in many years where I hadn't done my homework. And like
Yeah.
I had like not, or no, what it was I realized I was enrolled in a class that I had never gone to, and it was near the end of the semester, and like I wake up from it or whatever, and it's like I'm like actually like worried about something, and then I have to remind like you're 32, you're not in school, like that it's fine.
So here's the school nightmare that I have. I haven't had it in a while, but maybe three to 5 years or something. But I used to have it all the time, and way into adulthood. I have been enrolled in the wrong classes, or I have taken more units than I thought I had. And I've never attended these classes, though. It's become news to me today that, yes, you do have a third and fourth period class. This is not a half day. You've been working a half day for the year, and you were supposed to be learning calculus and biology. And so now, today, there is a Scantron fucking test for both of those classes. And you have to cram right now for the test today. And all of a sudden they start handing out Scantron sheets while I'm looking in this book that's this thick, and it's just so scary.
Just
because
panicky.
I do everything. I'm trying to talk to the teacher. I'm trying to like cheat, and nothing works.
Yeah, the reason I think that scares me is because literally, I think it was my junior year of college. I was in like Finance 3000 or some upper level finance course, and for the second test, there were only 3 tests. So test 2 is halfway through the fucking semester. And I sit down next to this guy, and through some conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm so glad the tests are fucking easy as shit. And because the tests were a joke. Like I got like a high A. And like on the first one, I come from the second one, and I'm like, man, this class is so great. Easy as can be. I never come to it. And the guy I was talking to was like, yeah, but like attendance is like 15% of your grade. And I was like,
oh
no, that can't be true. I couldn't have made that kind of oversight. And so then I just like, I had it in my head. I was like, okay, you cannot get back 8% of this entire grade. Like you just have to go to every class from here on out. And like ended up still doing fine because it was easy as shit. But I remember like that was such a big fuck up, because I had never blown off a class where they took attendance. That always seemed like so over the line to me. That's just willing laziness and indignance and ignorance. And that's what I did. I was kicking myself for that. It's like, you fucking retard, you moron. You missed. It didn't matter, you missed Taylor. Every single day other than test 1 and test 2.
It didn't matter then, and it doesn't matter now.
Back with us tonight. It's been a while. How are you?
Thank you. Doing better, I think, for the most part. It's been a wild journey. In the pre-show, we were just talking. I was like, yeah, it's been like a month or 2. And the guys were like, no, it's been like 8 or 9. I've kind of been out of it for a bit, but I'm back. I'm here hanging out, having some fun, and things are going good.
Yeah, good. How's it has been so long. Last time we spoke to you, you were like tinkering with your tea medication. And I think Kyle was saying like, what you want to do is not do the thing that prevents that.
So here's what was up.
I'm going right into that. All right.
Kickstart your body to make tea. And we were like, why not just take tea? And then you synced up with Derek from More Plates, More Dates. He discovered, I think, a tumor on your pituitary gland. Am I getting this right?
Correct. Yeah.
Which was preventing your body from wanting to make tea. And they put you on tea. And last I heard, you were in just happy land. But I guess I'm out of date.
It's been a bizarre almost 9 months, so I'll try to do the shortest version of this possible. Not long after the show that we did, my body basically totally shit the bed, and every system you can think of that could failed. Temperature regulation, nervous system, sense of orientation, balance, mental confusion. There was all the like muscle wasting, like ridiculous stuff.
Was this all at once?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. I went from literally like 100 push-ups, warm up every day, to laying in bed 18 hours a day within a week. So we did a whole bunch of stuff. I must have seen 15 different doctors, and most of them kind of blew me off. They're like, you're fine, go home. This is stress, go home. You're making this up, go home. And after Derek reached out to me, and I think I initially didn't even respond appropriately to him because I was just like out of my mind. But I apologized, and we did link up, and he introduced me to his doctors, and we did a ridiculous test. Like they took out 8 vials of blood from me, over 200 different things tested.
Damn.
And based on all of that, there wasn't any, well, there were problems, but not like normal ones. So they told me I really need to get a pituitary MRI,
One doctor said, nah, you're fine. I went and saw another one who was more serious. I was like, okay, let's order this pituitary MRI. And they found a very small tumor and or lesion on the pituitary gland, microadenoma, thankfully, not macro. That's bad. Mm-hmm. And the weird thing is that while, yes, there is a tumor there, it's incredibly small. And the doctor said it's very unlikely to be causing even a fraction of the problems that I'm experiencing. Okay. So they referred me to the only pituitary endocrinologist in my city. And it turned out to be like a Dr. House kind of guy. And instead of the doctors, no. Like all the doctors are like just blowing you off. Lupus. Go home, eat healthy. Don't, you should work out more, some crap like that. Yeah. And this guy just comes in, is like, I've never seen this before. That's exciting. Let's figure out what's going on. And he put me on this program of trying basically a new med every 2 months and testing to see if he could kind of isolate what system was going wrong. I did a lot of that. Derek's recommendation was immediately go to TRT. The pituitary endocrinologist is like, no, if we try different meds and sections, we might see which section is not cooperating properly.
Okay.
Turned out we learned nothing, and I wasted my time, and I went through about 4 major hormone changes in 8 months, which is lovely.
Jeez. That's one way to do it.
Wait, yeah. so this whole time you're like on these different pills, just up and down and no stability, just probably depressed as shit.
Wild.
Do you have a temper?
I have a temper when my testosterone gets below 100.
Okay.
But before that, no. On and off the pills, I did have an issue where I would randomly cry about once a week. I would just be like eating my dinner and be like,
that's like saying I get sleepy when my heart rate gets below 4.
Or like, we'll do a fun one. One time I woke up in the middle of the night with an ice cold boner. It was like having a popsicle in your hand.
No.
But I mean, it was like dead flesh, man. It was fucking terrifying. So we go through all this crap.
Wait, it was hard and cold?
Yes.
How's that happen?
Your blood fucking no. You don't get to experience that very much. This is a once in a time opportunity.
So we do all this stuff, and then I finally get pretty stable, just basic Clomid with no anastrozole. And they're like, okay, this is looking good. In a couple of weeks, we're going to move you to TRT and see how that works. And then everything goes cuckoo bananas crazy with my body, and my hands, which are fine now, more or less stopped working. I thought I got carpal tunnel like overnight, and they've just been fucked up for like 2 months. I have the grip strength of a 5-year-old girl. I can.
God, I'm glad we're not in a studio together right now.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Keeping my distance, motherfucker. What's wrong with you?
Dude, I went to go see doctors about it, got every test imaginable, and it all came back, you're fine. And I'm like here, and I'm like, I can barely brush my teeth. It's not fine. And it's been kind of a wild ride, but literally 3 days ago, I got some clarity. Apparently, I have the muscles in my neck are too tight and stuff, and I am crushing an artery and closing it shut. So my arms and hands and a lot of my upper body are getting about half of the amount of blood that they need. This is suspected, and you need an MRI to prove it. Jesus. So they're trying various things to open up these arteries, and when they do, like it's kind of like a manual massage release. I can watch the veins in my hand just go poof, and the pain goes away. So let's hope that trend continues. But dude, I've been all over the world, like more doctors and more crap, barely uploading to YouTube. It's been a not so very fun journey. But that's, I guess if you have questions, that's fine. But it's something I don't even like to talk about too much these days.
I can't imagine why.
I feel you. Yeah, it sounds horrible. It sounds really, really difficult to deal with.
Oh goodness.
Just totally dominating your life and not getting answers.
The thing is, it's ongoing, huh? Like this is just an ongoing, continuing thing. That's rough, man. I'm sorry.
I have to go see a geneticist on Monday.
Geneticist?
We're hitting the point where it's kind of like, what do you want to name your disease?
Drifter disease.
Oh God. Oh no. Why would I do that? They mentioned screwing up, putting the 0 in there, and it would screw up all the spelling and typing in the medical textbooks.
and you do one of those things like what Mountain Dew and Doritos do when they come out with a new flavor, and like have your fans vote on what to name the disease.
Yes.
Let 4chan ruin it. It'll be like Hitler syndrome.
It'll be like you have Hitler did nothing wrong disease.
Yeah, just like a Mountain Dew. We're not going to go with the Hitler did nothing wrong berry.
The important part of all of that is that Derek really helped me a lot and kind of put me on the right path toward figuring things out. So thank God.
Yeah, I mean, must have been infuriating having so many doctors straight up tell you, like, you're imagining this. Go do more push-ups.
Yeah, no, I literally had doctors to tell me to eat more meat and do push-ups. I had one of them tell me that like, oh, I wish I could sell your blood. It's so good. I went to go see an endocrinologist and I told him my testosterone was like 50 and they're like, so? And I'm like,
What?
yeah, it's fucking
What is it? 300
bizarre.
to 900? Is that the range? 300 to 700?
Yeah, for a vagina.
It's like,
I mean,
for all of us
human
here,
being.
probably like 800 would be normal.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
800 would be really high. Like I think they did this this test of Olympic athletes, and like the average was like 450. Like
Okay.
450, 500 is pretty average. Like most people would be very happy to be 900 or 1,000.
Jeff Nippert did a video. If you don't know him, he's a fitness YouTuber and he's jacked, short but jacked.
Mhm.
And he did a bunch of other guys who like compete in physique competitions,
Yeah.
and they were in the upper 400s.
Mhm.
So
it's not as high as I would have guessed.
No,
I thought it would have been
me
something
neither.
just
I
insane.
thought those guys, right? These are guys that you wish you looked like, right? You know, they're the
Mhm.
statues carved of marble, and I'm like, you're under 500. Oh, if somebody's 900, I thought it'd be you. You know,
Yeah.
I'm under 500 now. it's like that Simpsons meme.